For more than 400 million years, long before forests covered the continents, before dinosaurs ever took their first steps, before humanity imagined itself at the top of the food chain, the shark was already here. It survived 5 mass extinctions. It watched entire worlds disappear beneath the ocean, and somehow, its story became reduced to a single idea: a monster. For generations, humans have looked into dark water and imagined the same thing: rows of teeth, a silent shadow, an unstoppable predator waiting beneath the surface. It is one of the oldest fears our species possesses, not because sharks hunt humans, but because we cannot see them. The ocean hides what land reveals. It removes certainty. And where certainty disappears, fear begins. Yet there is another question, one that almost no one asks. What if the fear isn't one-sided? What if, despite everything we believe, sharks are actually afraid of us? Not in the way prey fears a predator, not with conscious thought, but through millions of tiny decisions, through instinct, through memory, through evolution. To answer that question, we have to stop looking at sharks through human eyes, because the ocean does not operate according to our stories. It operates according to survival, and survival often looks very different from fear. Imagine drifting alone in open water. Nothing beneath you except thousands of meters of darkness. The surface moves gently. Every sound travels farther than it does on land. Every vibration means something. In this world, vision is only one language. A shark doesn't simply see its surroundings. It listens through pressure. It tastes the chemistry of the sea. It senses electrical currents produced by beating hearts. Its perception is so different from ours that comparing the two is almost impossible. To us, the ocean feels empty. To a shark, it is overflowing with information. Every movement creates a signature. Every splash carries a message. Every living creature announces itself without realizing it. The shark reads this invisible conversation effortlessly. But one signal is unlike anything nature prepared it for: us. Humans do not swim like seals. We do not move like fish. Our limbs rotate awkwardly. Our breathing is irregular. Our bodies create unfamiliar patterns. Even underwater, we remain unmistakably terrestrial. From a shark's perspective, we are strange. Not food, not competition, not something evolution spent millions of years teaching it to hunt. Simply unfamiliar. And in nature, the unfamiliar often deserves caution. Fear is one of humanity's oldest survival tools. But fear is not unique to humans. Nearly every animal on Earth possesses some version of it. Not always as emotion, often as hesitation, as avoidance, as increased awareness, as choosing not to approach. Nature rarely rewards unnecessary risk. A lion does not attack every animal it sees. A wolf does not chase every moving object. Even apex predators calculate. Every injury carries consequences. A broken tooth can become starvation. A damaged eye can become death. Predators survive by minimizing risk, not maximizing violence. Sharks are no different. Popular culture imagines them as relentless killing machines. Reality paints something far more interesting. A shark spends much of its life avoiding mistakes, because one mistake can end everything. Scientists have spent decades observing shark behavior in controlled studies and in the wild. Again and again, a pattern appears. Curiosity, approach, assessment, retreat. The majority of encounters follow this sequence. The shark investigates. It gathers information. Then it leaves. Not because it failed, because it learned enough. This is remarkably different from the image many people carry. Movies taught us that sharks attack first. Nature shows that sharks usually investigate first. The distinction changes everything. Many so-called attacks are actually exploratory interactions. To a shark, its mouth functions much like our hands. It is one of the primary ways it gathers information. That reality does not make bites harmless. Far from it. A single exploratory bite from a large shark can cause catastrophic injuries. But understanding motive matters. Intent and outcome are not always the same. Then there is another observation, one repeated by divers across the world. Sharks frequently leave, even when they have every physical advantage, even when they are larger, faster, better adapted, even when humans appear vulnerable. Why? Because humans often behave unpredictably, and unpredictability increases uncertainty. Some sharks react to loud splashing by investigating. Others immediately disappear. Sudden movements, large bubbles, metal equipment, artificial lights, camera flashes. These things simply do not belong in their evolutionary history. For an animal whose survival depends upon interpreting patterns, humans often represent broken patterns. And broken patterns deserve distance. There is another reason sharks may avoid us. We are dangerous, not individually, collectively. Every year, humans kill tens of millions of sharks. Some estimates suggest the number exceeds 100 million annually. Many die for fins. Others become accidental bycatch. Entire populations have collapsed within decades. To a shark, there is no concept of conservation, no understanding of fishing industries, no awareness of economics. There is only experience, noise, hooks, nets, pain, death. Some marine biologists believe sharks can learn from repeated environmental pressures, not through storytelling, but through survival. Animals that avoid boats survive longer. Animals that avoid certain sounds reproduce. Generation after generation, behavior shifts. Evolution rarely announces itself. It whispers. One successful avoidance, repeated thousands of times, becomes instinct. Then there are the places where sharks and humans interact most peacefully. Protected marine reserves, remote islands, areas where fishing pressure is low. In these environments, many sharks appear noticeably less cautious, not aggressive, simply less inclined to flee. Contrast that with heavily fished coastlines. The same species often become elusive, more distant, harder to approach. This suggests something profound. Their behavior changes, depending on their experiences with us, not because they understand humanity, because survival teaches lessons without words. Perhaps the greatest misunderstanding surrounding sharks comes from a single assumption, that apex predators fear nothing. But no animal reaches the top by ignoring danger. Strength does not eliminate caution. It demands it. Even the largest great white avoids unnecessary confrontation. Even orcas, among the ocean's most formidable hunters, carefully evaluate risk. The ocean does not reward arrogance, it rewards efficiency. A predator that survives for decades is not reckless. It is selective. This is why fear, or something remarkably close to it, exists throughout nature. Not as weakness, as intelligence. Human beings often imagine courage as the absence of fear. Nature disagrees. Nature treats caution as wisdom. The shark that swims away is not losing. It is conserving energy, avoiding injury, preserving tomorrow. The same principle governs almost every successful predator alive. Survival belongs to those who know when not to fight. Ironically, our fear of sharks may reveal more about ourselves than about them. We have always projected monsters into places we do not fully understand. The deep ocean, dense forests, the night sky. Unknown spaces become blank canvases onto which human imagination paints danger. Sharks happen to inherit that role. Not because they deserved it, because they were hidden, invisible, silent. everything the human brain struggles to predict. Psychologists call this uncertainty bias. When information is incomplete, the brain often assumes the worst. The ocean offers endless opportunities for that mistake. Consider the statistics. Millions of people enter the ocean every year. Only a tiny fraction will ever encounter a shark. An even smaller fraction will experience a bite. The odds are astonishingly low. Yet surveys consistently show sharks rank among humanity's greatest animal fears. Not because of experience, because of imagination. Fear does not require evidence, only possibility. Meanwhile, beneath the same waves, another reality unfolds. A shark patrols its territory, following scents, reading electrical signals, navigating ancient migration routes older than human civilization itself. Most of the time, it never notices us, and when it does, it often chooses distance. The terrifying monster of our imagination frequently decides we are not worth the risk. So, are sharks afraid of humans? The answer depends on what we mean by fear. Do they experience the same emotional terror that humans describe? We don't know. Science cannot honestly claim that. But do they avoid us? Yes. Do they treat us cautiously? Often. Do they recognize unfamiliarity, potential danger, and unnecessary risk? Again and again. The evidence suggests they do. Perhaps that isn't fear. Perhaps it's something even more fundamental: respect for uncertainty. A lesson nature has practiced for hundreds of millions of years. In the end, the relationship between sharks and humans is strangely symmetrical. We fear what lies beneath the surface. They avoid what doesn't belong in their world. Both species misunderstand each other. Both carry instincts shaped by survival. Both respond to uncertainty with caution. The difference is that only one of those species has spent centuries telling stories about monsters. The shark never wrote books about us, never filmed documentaries portraying humanity as ruthless hunters, never invented myths about the creatures walking above the sea. It simply adapted, avoided, and continued swimming. Perhaps the greatest predator in the ocean was never defined by aggression, but by restraint. And perhaps the greatest misunderstanding was never that sharks are fearless, but that fear itself is not the opposite of strength. Sometimes it is the reason strength survives. As the sun disappears beneath the horizon, the ocean returns to darkness, the same darkness that has sheltered sharks for hundreds of millions of years. Somewhere below, a silhouette glides effortlessly through the blue, silent, ancient, unconcerned with legends, unaware of movies, indifferent to human reputation. It is not searching for monsters. It is simply trying, like every living thing on Earth, to survive another day.